Hello and welcome to a video with me, Bugsy. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use PokeGen for generating a Pokemon to be placed into X and Y through PokeBank. A legit Pokemon, that's the emphasis of this video. I know there's a lot out there already, but I wanted a video that was crystal clear and that didn't have this ambiguity when it came to nickname. I found one that was very good, but you couldn't really understand. He spoke very quickly. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to open up a previous Pokemon I built just because for the original trainer ID and secret ID. We're going to build a Umbreon. So first bit is PID. Don't have to touch that for now. Leave that alone for a minute. Don't go anywhere near that. So we're going to pick the species first. So the first species is going to be Umbreon. And then what we're going to do is it comes to the nickname. Basically how the nickname works is the maximum characters 11 minus the actual characters in the nickname you want. So for example, if we want to call it the actual name of the Pokemon for legitimacy's sake, then what you want to do is 11 minus the characters in Umbreon. So UMBREON 7. 11 minus 7 gives us 4. And then what you have to do is take a further 2. You take that further 2 on all nicknames, regardless. So then what you want to do is, so you type in your name of the Pokemon, so Umbreon, and then what you do is you go /FFFF, 4 FFFs. And then what you want to do is / again, and then when we worked out the 11 minus the 7 gave us 4 minus 2 gave us a remainder of 2. That remaining 2 is the number of 0 sequences we put after the first quadruple 4 Fs. So you want to go /FFFF /0000. That's one sequence. Then /0000 again. That's the second sequence. And then / again and close it with FFFF. Make sure the nickname box left just to the right of it is ticked. If you wanted to have a nickname like, I don't know, Doom that was only 4, then you take 4 off 11 minus 2 again. It's going to give you 5. No, my maths is terrible. 11 minus. Well, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. You get the drift. Okay, nature. I'm going to go with careful in this Umbreon. What I do like about this Gen is you can see all the abilities down the right. So you can see you're timid, you're naughty, etc, etc. Instead of having to go and look them up on Bulbapedia, they're just there. Okay, so once you've selected your nature, you then want to put the happiness in. I always put it to 255. Ability, make sure it's the relevant ability. Don't go and put something on that, for example, like levitate or something like Umbreon. It's just going to break the legitimacy. It's not going to go through on PokeGen. I always check the movesets and abilities on Cerebi black and white decks. Okay, so as we're doing a Pokemon generation that's from generation 1, 2 and 3, we're going to select black 2. I mean, unless it's like special transfer moves, then I kind of just put them all as black 2. But as it's a generation 1, 2 and 3 poke, specifically 2 Johto, then you need to make sure it's hatched. It has to be hatched. It can't be caught or anything. So put the level as 1. Select the Pokeball you want. I haven't experimented with other Pokeballs, so be careful that custom Pokeballs only came in for X and Y when breeding. Make sure you put the encounter at the as egg or /power park /event. Click as egg because we've hatched it, and then put the location to anywhere on the route. It doesn't matter where, like any route that's within the game. So I always go for route 5. Dates don't matter. Don't worry about dates. Stats, you've got I'll put all the IVs up to max, makes no difference, and then EVs you put them in a relevant place. So for example, HP 252. Be aware that it adds a 0 on the end every time. It's caught me out several times. Just make sure that your final EV value adds up to 510. Just make sure you have done that. So once you've done that and you've done your IVs, bloody 6-0. See what I mean? Catches me out. That's all done, and you can see your hidden power is also affected by your IVs, so that's a dark there. You can change that, but as long as it adds up to 510. Again, there's a little hover guide to tell you what to do, or the parameters, and legality. PID you don't really have to worry about. If you've opened up a Pokemon that's already gone through Transporter before, you haven't really got to worry. It's auto generated most of the time. Moves, again, you have to be careful, make sure they're not audacious. You don't want to go for something like a fly that an Umbreon can't learn, that's just silly. You just want to go for something that's realistic. So, what they would have, I mean, check their transfer moves, their egg move sets. Use Cerebi for that. Use the black and white decks, not the X and Y decks. Do not use that. So put your moves in. Put the PP ups to 3, the max PP ups. So just so it's there. See here, black and white decks. Do not use X and Y. Sorry, black and white. Black and white decks, not X and Y, because that will give you all the moves it can learn that can get through in the Poke Bank, and then you can do your other moves when it gets into X and Y. If you go and put an X and Y move on the Pokemon, it's just not going to work, or a move it wouldn't have learned other than on X and Y. It just won't work. Original ID and Secret ID, you can use that one. Have a play around with these, they usually work. If you want to generate a shiny, then you need to click the generate shiny ID. That'll change your secret ID so that it matches it, so if it was hatched on that trainer, it would come out as shiny. If you also want to make it a shiny, make sure the on the PID filter finder that the shiny box is highlighted. I've just unhighlighted it there for clarity, so I don't want a shiny. Any changes you make, so once you've done this Pokemon, you need to right click over in this box and set it. If you make a change, for example, you decide actually I want that shiny, and you go and click on generate shiny ID, and then you go on the PID and click it to shiny again, you need to make sure that that Umbreon is set again. So once you've clicked that shiny bit again, you need to make sure that that Umbreon is clicked again, is set again. So, I mean, this you don't have to do. This is me, for my own personal benefit. You haven't got to do this. The PID that you use for Smeargle will work. It's also generated, so any changes will happen, will work. But if you want to, and you want to try and make it as legit as possible, it'll get through anyway, then pick the IVs you want. I'm just putting them all equal, apart from attack. I'm putting that to minus. I probably should have just left that as it is. Then you can click search. That will give you an auto-generated PID. It doesn't always work anyway. It usually comes up as hacked when it comes to the legility check. But it will still get through. It will still get through. Just be aware that sometimes it can be a bit of tinkering in terms of with the original trainer ID and the secret trainer ID. So once it's all done, again you want to go back and set the Pokemon. Do that every time you. Not every time you make a change, but when you go to save it. Then go save from the tabs. Say there was the second option down on file save. Then save the Pokemon. Now go back to your Poke Check. I will do a video on how to set this up. My computer had a little fit here for some reason. I think it's because I was going back and you're not supposed to. Anyway, so these were the ones I've done before. So as you can see, that's a previous Umbreon I did, but I got the ability. Forgot to put it in, so let's not look at that. Okay, so choose the file you want. So find that Umbreon we just did. So I saved it as Umbreon 2. Import it as a Generation 5 Pokemon. It's going into black and white, so put it in as there. And then you can see it comes on the top of your list. Click that little box there that I'm showing you now. Click that. Go back down again. And click on the Q selected Pokemon for download on the GTS. That will mean when it will come up with a little pop-up box, which is come up now. Whack an OK on that. That's all done. Now that is ready to transfer into your DS. So I'm going to pause in a second. You guys aren't going to notice. It's going to jump. And I'm going to show you pretty much... well, I'm not going to show you it going through, but it's gone through. I promise you it went through on my Poke Transporter. I've got 2 to give away if anybody wants them. Or I can give you a shiny one if you want it. But you guys know how to do it. You can use that ID, original ID, for your own Pokemon, building them. Go ahead. You can use that. I don't mind. It works. I think it was used from Smogon. But, yeah, go ahead. So as you can see, you've got all your information when you click on the Pokemon. So I've already uploaded it onto my DS, but You've got all the information. If you want to check the legality of it, there's a little button that you just saw me click that will tell you, don't worry about the PID being invalid or hacked, it will still work. But that is a lovely little bit I like about this poke check, this one in particular. So the website's at the top up there. I will put it in the link when I get around to putting this on YouTube. But you can see it will tell you ability hacked, so that won't get through. But it will tell you like all the little bits, as long as the egg moves aren't hacked and the ability isn't hacked and the stats are within the 510 EV marker, then you can't go wrong. That's going to go through. That little bit I just went over there. If you've got one in the queue for GTS to come through on your when you go into it, which I'll show you in another video, that will tell you you've got a Pokemon queued. Anyway, that is now on my DS. You've got a whole load of options down here. You don't really need to touch any of those ones I've shown you now. So exporting, don't need to touch that, or the backup my account. You can do it. That's just for poke check stuff. I'll go through that again on my other video. You can make it public or private so people can see the Pokemon. They can then download it themselves. I don't really touch mine at all. You guys can see it on the video. And then that pretty much is done. That Umbreon has now gone through onto my DS. I've now got that on my poke bank. My camera's playing up, so I can't show you at the moment. But for any of you who don't believe me, I promise you it works. Go away, do it. It's a 5-minute download to get hold of PokeGen, and the poke check website is amazingly good. I mean, it's a way of doing it. I mean, I make them legit because one, they're not going to get through if they're not, and two, it's just I haven't got the time between work, etc., and dealing with my own things. I don't have time to go through and sit through and breed all these Pokemon. Just a quick bit here. If you're going for a Pokemon that's in Generation Black and White, then you can just take it off as an egg, and then just make it seem like you met it in the grass, etc. For example, if you like come across a Bidoof or something, or I don't know, something that was in black and white too, then put it in grass. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know, give me a shout if you want anything else. Ta-da!